All right. Good evening, Abusia for Numeri Yada Nyamia CBM for the opportunity. Yenya say a sign about and a Joada BM. It's Monday once again. Uh, Time no it goes by so fast. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Monday bana and China another one about and yada mwase yenya adaje yaba yade sika no Premier Financial Advisory Program no and yasan ede abremo enwumre no nti baby wo tie free bia no either YouTube or online radio ne nyinaa no yɛde wase sɛ wafa time na nwummerɛ wo ne yɛn ɛbɛdi saa adwumadeɛ wei no yɛn nyinaa no ɛm sɛ yɛhu yɛn ho akyɛ yie nti yɛma mo akɔ aba yɛtiefo baabi a wohwɛ yɛn afiri biara no nti yɛbɛma Dr. Ewua nso the opportunity no nso na ɔno nso wama yɛtiefo nso akɔ aba na yɛde ɛne dɛ yɛdwumadeɛ no so no ɛde ahyehyɛ so.
Abuja for me show be out. I want the who watch a check nipa busy small but therefore say bit me share BMT. Hopefully they bit me share more information about much more to 120. So happy to be back.
All right, Doug. Thank you so much and welcome once again. Yeah, nti yɛtie for nso yɛma akɔ aba yɛda mo ase monya adagye na mo ne we know sir they be like we always say no some of the informations you share or no it's information yes sir if you take time and apply them to your current situation no and sometimes it be applicable to you but it's applicable to a friend, a family member that you know no a bit to me I share the information with them na a bit or more in the long run no because nam or die your war and the passion your war and we just don't want to keep that nimdeɛ to ourselves, but we want to share with our brothers and sisters. And we can also utilize the information day in and day out in a bit me aboye. One of the things I'm fine say a big challenge even married couples and now say even if you're single sikasem. I mean, when you look at like the ratio right now within the African community, a lot of the divorce are brain. When you dig deeper, you can tell, say, at some point, because of Sikasembi issue being a course, yes. Until we share some of this information, in order for us to say, if I see some areas that needs improvement in Misika Semo, my warrior, you can use that information to help build on that. And you know, you realize this, especially this part of the world, America has said, next week, now your tax, the tax season, will be over. Yep, it's been 4 months straight. I mean, busy. But now you are getting a refund. Congratulations if you are. Also American, unfortunately, it can be abba. It's rather unfortunate. It happens, but it's not the end of the world. Yes, we just have to learn from the mistakes and we improve on that. And we just want to focus on two things: our investment and also our savings. So nyamia boao nasa wanya a little bit of a refund. What do I do with Sasikano? Maybe you want to save it. Maybe you don't even need it now. So maybe you want to invest it. Inti yapasi take your time kakra. Now at least what is the difference between even savings and any investment. If you have the money now and you don't even know what to do with it, what is the best way to go? What is the best thing to do right now? Because a lot of us will make certain mistakes when it comes into savings and investment. Now, the way Akwasha has said, a better stage we need it, but we're unable to get it, not creating a whole lot of confusion there. And Yabama, Dr. Ewua, when we say savings, I mean, what is your take on it? Senabe, your TFON will know what exactly savings is all about. Now, yet me, I build it on that.
Sure. Thanks for the question. So I think a lot of times we have to be very mindful and very careful in how we identify or how we place our money into certain buckets, right? And in my experience, a lot of times we tend to commingle the two things, right? Savings, when you want to save money, the idea is that when I'm putting this money away, anytime I go back, wherever I put that money, anytime I go back, whatever amount I put there is going to be either the same amount or a little bit on top of whatever I put there before, right? It's a safety it's precaution, right? You're putting that money there knowing that, hey, for a specific period of time, I need this money never to go down, right? So that's the idea. And you want quick access where you can use it to buy things, or put down payment for certain things, or pay for certain expenses and so forth. So you're never concerned about that money ever going down or you losing the part of the principal, right? And the idea is also that whenever you put money or whenever you designate money as savings, the idea is that there is no risk associated with that money, right? And I want to reiterate that because that's one of the bigger differences between savings and investments, right? As tax time, obviously, we all know tax time is almost over, right? And we want to make sure that, the money that you've been able to receive back or as a refund, you want to be able to properly allocate that money into a particular plan or strategy that you deem to be what you're looking to accomplish, right? So if the plan is to save that money, then you know that, hey, wherever I put this money, there should be no market risk associated with that money because I need that money very quickly in a short period of time. Now, if you already have enough savings and you're not really looking to save this money, or you don't need this money anytime soon, right? 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You say, you know what, man, I need this. I need to grow my money. I just don't know what to do with the money. Then at that point, you want to invest, right? That money. Now, when you invest in anything that you invest in, whether it's a business, whether it's stocks, whether it's bonds, whether it's real estate, whether it's crypto, whatever it is that you put money in, right? The key thing that you have to always understand is you are hoping for growth potential on that money, right? But just like you want the money to grow, whenever the money is invested, there's also a very strong possibility that the money is also going to go down or you're going to lose part of that money because there's a risk associated with investment, right? That's really one of the biggest difference between saving and investing. When you save money, there's literally no risk associated. When you invest money, there's a risk that you are assuming for the potential for growth. Now, the question becomes, what is the level of risk that you are willing to take, right? If your money is invested in a conservative fashion, you are assuming less risk, right? Although there's still risk is there, it's less compared to somebody who's investing in a moderate or aggressive manner, right? Obviously, the more aggressive your investment is, the higher the potential for return, right? But the more conservative is that your investment is, the less potential for returns. As long as you really understand those minor differences, you can properly allocate and designate where you want your money to go, fully understanding the difference between a risk and a non-risk, right? And even in the savings component, although there's no risk associated, like market risk or you losing your money, there's inflation risk, right? Because inflation deteriorates the buying power of your money, right? So although you may not be seeing fluctuations in your money, the actual buying power of that money over a long period of time, as inflation goes up or the higher inflation, the less power that money has to be able to purchase a certain item. So just as long as you understand those differences, it's just a little bit easier to be able to put money away in a particular strategy that you see fit for yourself.
All right. Thank you so much, Doc, for breaking it down to us. And in fact, you mentioned two things. I think it's worth repeating again. and making sure, sir, yeah, so sir, yeah, can't savings, yeah, can't investment. And you mentioned two things. The first thing is, we'll say, we don't need to confuse ourselves by commingling both, you know. And a lot of us, that's where the confusion comes in. And also, I mentioned the fact, and it's when it comes into investment, you know, it's pretty much just like, okay, I have this, but this I don't need for now. And that's a lot of the mistakes you move brain, this program, you know, to educate ourselves and in like the best that you need to do right now. Also, the rule, the rule of thumb, and say anything, if I need it, give me 1 second, my lag went up. Anything that I don't need within this 5 years, I won't say, 5 years, and it's at the secure way, maybe within 5 years, I'm going to need it. Then your best option will be to put that into a savings, investment, savings. But if I need this, you know, after 5 years, anything longer than 5 years, then possibly I need to go and invest Sasikano. And the question will be, said, dog, if I decide, okay, savings, any investment, as an individual, or be I have no idea even what to do. Which one should I do first? Do I save first and do investment second, or do I invest now and do savings later? What would be your take on that?
That really depends on what you're trying to accomplish, right? If it really depends on your financial backing and your financial strength or fitness, right? Because if your goal is, hey, I need to really prepare myself and make sure that I have enough money for my later years of my life, right? Then it really becomes hard for you to delay investing, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you say, "Hey, I already have my different and various investments going, and I feel okay. I put enough money away right now. I need to strengthen and increase my savings." Then you need to save money, right? Or you have to ask yourself, right now, God forbid, if I lose my job, or and I cannot work for the next 4 to 6 months, can my family still sustain a standard of living that we're accustomed to, right? And if the answer is no, then you have to now make sure that you increase your level of savings, because emergencies do happen, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to be going to tap into your investment account to try to take care of your emergencies. Now, if you have to, then fine. But retirement accounts, you have to understand that there's some limitations and penalties associated with accessing that money before the correct time, right? That's why you never want to put all your money in a retirement account. You want to have a non-retirement account. You also have money in, although it could be either a savings or investment type of account. So it really depends on where you are financially, at what stage of your life you're in, how much retirement savings or investment savings you have around you, or how much actual specific savings that you have, and that can dictate what you do with your money, and some people that, hey, when the money comes into their hands, they don't really have any need for that money. They already have enough liquidity around them. So the goal of that is just to invest that money for the long haul, right? You can put it in a retirement account, or you can put it in a non-retirement account that's invested, right, for a longer period of time. But if you say, hey, look, right now I don't really have any money around me, I don't have any savings around me, and if something happens, my family could be in trouble, then you want to focus on actually saving and protecting the money from market volatility.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, for breaking down. Yet here for say, I think what Johnny Yama about to enumerate financial premier financial advisory program. No, your focus enumerate. No, it's more about our savings and also our investment. They can establish what the savings is all about, what the investment is all about. yemu bebre yata confuse sa nyoma mienu no, and we're trying to have us and educate ye na ye huma ye na ye hu ehia for us say at some point yen to me end na ho say oh media menya any savings menya any investment near there we cannot do that because at some point ye be ye adwuma bedru baabi no we need to retire, and once we retire the question is dia de na ebedi ahimfa na ebeda. That kind of questions and it comes into play. So that's why it's necessary to say now, no. And there's not like any age limit when you need to start investing or when you need to start savings. You can start at any age. The earlier you started, the better. On said Debbie, no, well, this program, see, I can't so many times say some of this information, yeah, share or no. So some of us, this information maybe like 20, 30 years ago. And now you're acting on that information. And maybe we are not in the stage I are right now. No. Because years ago, if we had invested in something, right now, no, as I offer even the dollar cost average in cry, yes, but now sikana I bebre. But we didn't have that opportunity, and we didn't have that information. We made those mistakes, and we are trying to share that. We also don't make those some of the mistakes that some of us made in the past. Yeah, care about savings. Yeah, realize says savings, are more of a short term. And savings, you have to have like a need in mind. Into a typical example, by say, me as an individual or even minimum busuya, we are saving money like an emergency fund. Me wo fie, sa fie no, repairs beba. I have a car. I need to repair that car no. If it breaks down, the question is, you find me kofesika. Now me dey repair sa car no. Am I going to depend on my credit card to be able to do that? The answer is no. You can prepare and plan for those emergencies as they come into play. Into that's when some of our savings will be establishing like an emergency fund. You bet me at the atoho na aboyen just in case of any unforeseen expenses be abebano. We are able, say, a bit to me, tap into those resources and take care of it like right now. It could also be, say, I have plans to buy a house. And now we know, say, it's not easy, say, now see zero down. I mean, I'm trying to finance the whole thing. I mean, some banks might probably do it for you. Some banks wouldn't do it for you. At least you need some sort of a down payment. How do you do that? That's when savings comes into play. Until right now, my name said the next 5 years I want to buy a house. So now I start putting some money or setting some money aside. In 5 years, I have some of the money I made to me at the year like a down payment. Doug, what are some of the things that you feel, sir? We can save for now, not just based on the current financial situation, the economic, what are some of the things that you think, sir, as families, as individuals, I say a target near to me planning near save towards some of these things,
Sure. Thank you for that question, first of all. And I think we once again want to reiterate that we have to be very mindful of our money, right? Especially in these economic times, right? With the lack of certainty and not knowing where we are as a country financially, right? With some, believing that we are in a recession, although it may not be as deep of a recession as we've had in the past, but we are still considered to be in a recession based on the definition of what a recession is, right? Now, as you can see, we also, currently in a state or in economic conditions where inflation is quite high, right? although there's some sights of it coming down, but they're still relatively high compared to historical numbers for inflation. So you can see the prices of goods have gone up significantly, right? So, and we also seen, according to the numbers, that families are saving less money, especially in these times, because the cost of everything has gone up, right? So savings rates are actually down compared to a few years ago, right? So I think here's the thing: when it comes to money, right? You can either make more money or you can spend less money, right? If you're not in a position to earn more money because your pay or your income is capped, then what you have to do is you have to reconfigure your expenses and spend less than what you're normally expending, especially in this economic conditions, right? Because we don't know where we are going to go, right? Could we go even? Could we go? Can things get even worse? It's a high possibility, right? Can things improve? High possibility. We don't really know, right? So in order to be able to buffet yourself, right, away from any financial catastrophe, you want to make sure that you have enough liquidity around you and your family, right? And for me, right, as a man in my household, one of my biggest goals is to make sure that my family is always buffeted against any financial downfalls or downturns, right? And that requires a certain level of planning and foresight, right? And you can't just wait and be reactive. You have to be proactive, right? Meaning planning ahead of time before anything come, right? That's why I mentioned that maybe in times like these, you can maybe reshuffle how you are saving and you're investing, right? Let's just say before you were saving, you were investing a good bit of money. Maybe at these economic times, you may want to put more money in your savings to be able to increase that and have significant amount of savings that you can readily access, when something happens, as opposed to having more in the retirement account, or investment account, and having to go pull the money, right? Because the worst thing is to pull money from the investment account when the market is down, right? Because at that point, you are pulling money from an account that's already been reduced due to market downturns, right? So you are now accepting a significant amount of loss in your account, depending on how much money you pull out, right? But if you and your family have a significant amount of savings, or let's just say money in the bank or money market, or what have you, you wouldn't have to go touch your retirement or your investment account, right? You can leave those for those to be able to grow over time, right? And obviously, when there's a lot of pessimism in the market, right, there are less investors in the market, right? This is also opportunity that are available in the market, right? So the more money you have at your disposal, the more really you can take advantage of opportunities when they happen, especially in a pessimistic market, or in a market where everything is, let's just say the price of investments are going down. You can buy more, right? So you buy low, you sell high, right? But if you don't have sufficient money around you, you are not able to take advantage of great opportunities that oftentimes become available in a market like we have right now, right? But at the end of the day, right, it boils down to really figuring out what your monthly expenses are, right? And especially in the market that we're in right now, you want to make sure that you don't deviate from your month to month expenses too much, right? Obviously, deviating in the way where you're saving more is great, right? But when you are overspending what you normally spend, you want to kind of tighten that up and make sure that you are being very careful and you are budgeting how you spend your money. Everybody's in a different financial situation, right? Some people have a plethora of money and abundance of money, so they don't really care or concern themselves about what the market is going on. And it's a reality, right? And there's some folks that don't make as much as they need to make, right? They make less than average income, or they make average income. And those folks may have to do a more detailed planning to be able to make sure that if anything happened, they have the financial backing to be able to, withstand, right? And also around this time, or in this economic climate, right, people tend to lose their jobs. There's a high level of, job loss, right? Now, God forbid you lose your job and you weren't prepared for it. What's going to happen to your family, right? You could lose your home, right? you know, you can't afford daycare, you can't afford your mortgage, you can't afford your car note, you can't afford, I mean, you can't afford a lot of things if you don't have enough money, right? And you know, what I realized that too, when you don't have enough money around you, a lot of emergencies happen.
Yeah.
Car break
Yeah.
down, you know, something in your house breaks down. You know, the house can be a beautiful thing, right? But it can also be a very expensive thing because a lot of costs come to homeowners, right? There's a lot of benefits, but there's also a lot of responsibility, right? So it's paramount that every single one of us make sure that, you know, we always check on our financial fitness to make sure that we're up to par. And if we're not, we make adjustments, right? You know, just like, you know, you check on your car to make sure that it has enough oil, it has enough, you know, gas in it. The same thing, or even your stomach, right? When you get hungry, you don't just sit there and be hungry all day. You check and, hey, I'm feeling hungry, right? Let me go try to fill my tank, my stomach tank, right? The same thing with your money. You gotta do a regular checkup to make sure that you're up to par with what you're doing. And if you know, if you're not where you need to be, you gotta make some significant changes, you know. And maybe you may not be ready for significant changes. Do gradual changes, right? But the goal is to make sure that you are always, for you and your family, that you are buffeting your family away from any financial, detriment, you know, that can potentially take place. And none of us know when that can happen, right? But when you're prepared, you don't care when it happens because you're ready for it, right? You know, the saying goes, you stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? So,
Yeah, true.
yeah.
Yeah, dog, yeah, there was it for that information. No, yeah, we for Safina wa journey, there was a pass when ya adaje wa fabre na one yes, Jumadia way, you know. If you have any questions and be won't be we are here for you. You can always ask that question, no, by calling 240-280-2653. 240-280-2653 and that's to me at the question no about WhatsApp 510-931-0946 510-931-0946 and you may you savings and investment and what some numere yɛnyinaa mfa sɛ Dr. Wua anya adagye akyerɛkyerɛ mu paa yie because sɛ wohwɛ deɛ ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ your current economic state no right now no on say a lot of the companies no they hired so much and right now yɛnyinaa yɛhwɛ news on say they are laying off a lot of people. We are seeing banks failing left and right. Obia Niwa Najuma or yeah right now no is guaranteed for the next 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. Anything can happen to Wajuma, Majuma, Obia Juma. So what do we do? Say here say no at some point you say, you know what? Since whatever I'm doing is not guaranteed, Juma Meya is not guaranteed in internal. I need to set some money aside just in case something should happen. In fact, or more excellence, if you lose your job, it takes minimum of about 6 months to a year for you to find a new job. And as Dr. West said, no, just Nyamimpengu, you lose your job right now. So when the mortgage, you have rent. If you have rent, likely for you to say wouldn't rent or mortgage. If you are making work car note, how do you pay for all these expenses? Say BB at Toa. That's why I am necessary. I can't want some about savings right now. Doug, right now, no. Some of us in the BOH, we have like a big challenge trying to. We're living from like paycheck to paycheck. I mean, at 2 weeks a week or even monthly, when we get that sikana, we can barely even pay our bills right now. No. One of the things I had to be brave, 401k, 403b, near dear, away, near dear. Do you think, sir, is something that we can also take advantage of if my employer offers those type of 401k or 403b do you think is something that would be advisable for us to take advantage of if my employer offers those type of tools or not?
Sure. That's a great question. And I think it's one that, we should kind of pay close attention to, right? Because that comes up a lot. And a lot of times people are not aware of what the employer offers, right? You'd be surprised there are a lot of people that don't contribute to their retirement account or 401k or 403b or 457 or IRA, whatever that is, right?
Mm.
At the end of the day, you have to look at it this way, right? At some point in your life, right, you want to choose to work if you want to, not because you have to,
Mm-hmm.
right? And how do you accomplish that? You have to have a certain money put away so that at some point in your life, the money that you have put away can be your employee so that it pays you interest, right? So you can live off of that money for the rest of your life. Now, if you don't put any money away or you don't save any money and you continue at the pace that you're going right now, money come in, money go out, you spend, you spend, you spend. At some point or in your later years, how are you going to be able to not have to work if you don't want to work? Right? It's either your money's working for you or you're working for money. There's not really much to kind of really go around that, right? So I say that to say, right, back in the early days, right, they had the pension plan, right? And those, you work for a company for a certain amount of years, you retire, and they still continue to pay you a certain percentage of your income, right? So you don't have to worry about having to save for retirement because the pension was your retirement, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the companies also realized that they were going broke because why? Over time, because of improvement in medicine, people are living longer and longer and longer, right? So those employers could not afford to keep paying those employees because they're living much longer, right? That's why they came up with the whole 401k plan. It says, hey, we are going to take the responsibility from us, the employer, and put it on you, the employee. So whether you choose to save or not, we don't care. But in order to make the deal sweet, we're going to offer you a match, right? That means we're going to incentivize you to contribute to your own retirement account, right? So if we say we're going to give, let's just say, a 4% match. If you contribute 4%, we're going to match you 4%. If you don't contribute 4%, we're not obligated to do that, right? So as an employee, it makes total sense to at minimum contribute that 4%. Because why? You are getting 100% return on your money. Because your employer is going to also not add and give you what? 4%. To still give you a hybrid of the pension plus you saving, right? The pension is their responsibility previously, right? Now, in the 401k, it's your responsibility, right? So I'm always super surprised or shocked when I come across people that don't even have any retirement account or don't even take advantage of their work 401k or don't even know if their work even offers a 401k because they haven't even looked into it, right? So you don't want to just say, oh, I didn't get around to it because that's a very hefty price to pay, right? Time is like literally when they say time is money because at the end of the day, right, the less time you have until retirement, the less time you have for your money to grow. And the less time you have for it until retirement, the more money you have to put into play catch up in order to have enough money when you retire. So to me, if your job, and mind you, not every job offers a 401k
Right.
or 401k match, right? If your job don't offer one, you could open up an IRA, individual retirement account, and you can make your own contribution to that IRA, right? But if your job offers a 401k and they offer you a match, you should definitely take advantage of that match. And obviously, 401k is not the only investment vehicle. There are different ones available, but in the very least, in the bare minimum, contribute the amount the employer is going to match, so they'll give you that free money. Right? So if you file your tax, you get some extra money. And so the thing here is this, right? For example, we know that the tax deadline, I believe, is April 15th or April 18th, somewhere between those two time points, right? Now, if you have yet to file your taxes for the 2022 tax year, you can still contribute for your 2022 tax year before you file your taxes. But after you file your taxes, you can no longer contribute to the previous year, right? So if you haven't done so, you can still contribute, to your 2022 tax 401k plan before you file. But it's okay if you've already filed. Just know that, hey, for 2023, you want to make sure that you take advantage of those employer-sponsored plans. And like I say, if your job don't offer one, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You can still open up your own individual account, also you call individual retirement account, IRA. It's either Roth or traditional, and that's going to be dependent on how much income you're bringing in per year.
All right, Doc. Thank you so much. Yet for Edamasa. So, Samonya Daje na Moni yes Jumadi way no. In fact, Dog asamini na for us no. You can't enumerate, you can't about savings, you can't about investments near there. And at some point, you ain't mean Juma for the rest of our lives. No. At some point, we need to retire. And once we retire, it doesn't mean say we need it. It doesn't mean say no. You need to plan ahead of sanima ways. So if I retire, sika sign and a mehia, and na sasika na himfa ne befri aba. Intina yeah ended up with 401k and 403b near there. You can't about savings, One of the things that is so difficult in this my Jimmy paycheck, I know it's in my hand right now. Not me to be baby. It's very difficult to do that. However, at source, like Doc Ekan, you can have your employer take a percentage of that amount, they set it aside for you. Because once you don't see it, a very difficult search, and once you establish that and go into that habit in it becomes part of you. Into cry, you don't even see it. And think about it, Sonia, Doc, and think about it and say, you are giving up like 5%. Or employer and so say, unim, what the 5% ba, me so match 5% now. So pretty much, and that's some free money, unya free, has say, abeka usika ho. Inti saa nkakra na ebetete ato ho ama no. Think about it, sir, in about 15 years time, in about 20 years or 30 years time, if I retire, look at how much ebe are they up. And it's not just say kakra na wotete na wode koto ono nko. Bear in mind say what company so no or more what they are doing is that they invest sasika on your behalf for you. So it's earning interest for you. It could be say adia wo yen now no in 10, 15 or 20 years it can either double or triple or quadruple based on the market condition. Inti yesramo so utie numera if wo employer offer 401k 403b or 457 say if you are not taking advantage of Sanyomana, this is your starting point. Use that and start doing 2%, 3%, 4%, kakra here and there. The next thing you know, na what build it way. You're spending time, you're more like an overview, what savings is all about, what investment is all about. But you were like different things. You can say investment, they are then make me invest in. You be taking one by one, you're breaking it down. Now one can assess who say, okay, which area na beboame, na where you need to put your money into. Yada muinasi and for the time together. Nunti yabema Dr. Wabema your friends and the last comment in terms of what your discussion and or we are na yade yajumadi ni no edia benawi. And next week, ya pick up with the different vehicles, investment vehicles you bet to me look here.
And you may bought different topics also. The goal, no, at the end of the day, no, is to make sure say to me I do better financially. We know say finance a difficult occur, but with the right guidance and information, we'll be able to me the feeling correct. The goal is say Obana information the mama no, was from Pacho information nipa for by the mama, complementary. We hope say the mama na mostly use na mostly mo na mostly mo want to improve my finances and as always, we are blessed to be able to come and to share information with you all. So may God continue to bless you all.
All right, thank you, Doc. Time. In conclusion, savings investment is something very vital and critical for your financial well-being. We cannot do without it. Into Sawunsha Asia, and now what information where our request is our recommendation is start with a small now as time goes on it will become part of you and you begin to build on it until next week I did the different vehicles in Dog, God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.